Hello. In this project about creative tourism, we will talk about of the project creator. In this work, we were proposed to select an example of creative tourism product or service and to do an explanation of our product or service. We choose to talk about the Portuguese project creator. Our goal is to present and demonstrate other forms of tourism in addition to the most common types of tourism that we know and explain the advantage that this type of tourism can bring. In our project, we will talk about the company, objectives and characteristics or benefits of the company, main activities, the potential to be implemented in another national context, and what we learn from this lesson. Creator is a Portuguese creative tourism project which has the objective through unique and genuine experiences involving the local community to develop the tourist destination. This type of tourist experience allows direct contact with the local community and develop a creative potential in tourists. This project creates a more diversified offer in tourism and deepens the relationship between organizations in the creative sector with tourism, contributes to the development of culture and creative industries, development of artistic and creative centers in old factories or heritage sites rehabilitated, revitalizes and enhances culture traditions, and still contribute to the growth and development of creative products related to the culture and design. The Creator project consists of 5 research centers, 40 pilot entities, and others interested parts. The various activities of this project add economic, culture, and social value to the destination at the local and regional level. This project is being developed in destinations such as small cities and rural areas in north and center of Portugal, Alentejo and Algarve. This project involves 5 university centers that work in collaboration with a pilot organization and other entities. The universities involved are University of Coimbra, University of Évora, University of Algarve, ISCTE and University of Minho. Creator is founded by PAC, by Portugal 2020, Joint Activities Program, by Compete 2020, por Lisbon, por Algarve, and by the Foundation for Science and Technology. In addition to the Creator project, there is Creator Açores, that is a creative tourism project aimed at Açores. It intends to create more tourist offer in Açores and fortify connections with other Portuguese regions.
The main goal of the company Creator is to develop and implement an integrated approach and an investigation plan centered in the creative tourism in small cities and rural areas of Portugal. Other goals of the company are: improve the level of knowledge and systemic analysis about creative tourism in small cities and rural areas of Portugal, understand the processes in different conditions and situations through which the creative tourism activities can be developed and implemented in a sustainable way, understand that by integrating the creative tourism in small cities and rural areas can offer viable options to improve the creative and cultural organization stability. Evaluate the multidimensional impacts, such as social, economic, cultural, of creative tourism activities at the level of promoting organizations, local tourism activity, and local development. Develop strong and sustainable partnerships in each region to increase the tourism positive impacts at the level of local and regional development. Contribute to the diversification of touristic offer through the creation of unique and memorable creative experiences of local character to the visitors. And lastly, take advantage of the new technologies, for example, a smartphone app, to provide contemporary creative experiences that meet creative tourists' requirements. The main objective of the project Creator Azores is to empower multiple agents located in the Azores archipelago to develop, implement, and promote creative tourism experiences. The project Creator Azores intends to reinforce the knowledge about specific market segments with a major interest in creative tourism products. The main characteristic of this project is the connection between the creativity and the destination, providing the visitor an experience of immersion to a local culture and direct contact with the local community. It will bring some benefits, such as contribute to the development of a sustainable creative tourism sector in small cities and rural areas of 4 regions of Portugal: North, Centre, Alentejo, and Algarve. Contribute to an integrated local development and to the vitality of the local culture. And contribute to the pilot identity's capacity to develop and implement a set of creative tourism experiences and intend to contribute directly to the regional sector strategies and other public politics. The main benefits of the project Creator Azores is to diversify the touristic offers in Azores and to strengthen the connection with other Portuguese regions. Through these experiences, the tourists will have the opportunity to participate actively in creative activities, providing learning opportunities, creative auto-expression, and interaction with the local communities. The approach of the creative tourism allows that both visitors and local communities benefit with the tourism by promoting the cultural vitality and sustainability and allowing that creative and artistic activities perform a determinant role in the socio-economic development.
One of Creator's main activities is the Idea Labs, that helped it to create a creative tourism network where numerous ideas are reflected and discussed that lead to improvement of the activities that are being developed. This company also has numerous conferences, both national and international, to debate and help the company to continue to be increasingly creative, in order to have activities that satisfy the participants. This company has many activities, for example, the Olé Criativo. This is the oldest project of this company. In this project, there are several activities. There is the entrelaçar da palma, the beating of the copper, and activities of shaping the clay. All these activities are typical in this region. This project has as main objectives to divulge the main arts and traditions of this region, as well as to give the tourists the possibility to do the activities themselves. In this way, tourists not only can better understand the culture of Olé, but they can also see and acquire these products, as well as learn the techniques of their production themselves. Many tourists say that they have a lot of difficulties in reproducing many of the intended tasks. However, they characterize this difficulty as learning and as a way of giving value to these arts. Many participants still say that practicing these activities is good for the soul. In addition, it is a way of not letting various activities die. If this type of tourism doesn't exist, these activities were probably forgotten. Another project that exists in this company is Estrela Festival in Serra da Estrela in the village of Faia. In this project, the artists live with the participants for a week. This creates a very positive environment between artists and participants, forming a family between them, where the artists are participants and the participants can also be artists. In this project, there are artists who do different types of arts, for example, sculpture, where the themes used are related to the connection between heaven and earth, and the participants feel really useful and happy as they feel they can help these artists to make their works of art and feel fulfilled. On the other hand, the artists themselves feel quite grateful for having helped to complete their works. There is also, in Serra da Estrela, the compacting of wool fibers in order to make textiles, which are the oldest textiles in humanity. There are also workshops related to the effect of sound on human psyche, where they do poetry through psychiatry, or vice versa. This workshop is given by an artist who explains what kind of sounds he produces to make his patient feel certain kinds of emotions in order to make them talk more about their experiences. There are other workshops in this region, for example, stand-up comedy, illustration, animation, and among others, where you are in touch with the local community. In Caldas da Rainha, there are theater workshops and guided visits through the city where they explain the history of the Rafael Bordalo Pinheiro family in the ceramics of the region. The second workshop consists in making and painting tiles. After the making, the tiles are baked and sent to the people who made them. The participants witness that they never thought it would be so difficult to make the tiles, and they love the experience. Moving on to Freital's artistic village, there is the shelter route. These routes are related to the shelters of the shepherds who are abandoned. These routes allow us to show the heritage not only to tourists but also to the local community, in order to show them that their heritage has enough interest to make them interested in protecting it. These practices are important for these traditions to be preserved and not to be lost over generations. In Couvent do Lobo, by their own initiative, the other inhabitants tell stories of the production of Breu and how are made esteiras in Bunho, and they tell their own stories, which make the experience much more real and unique. In Faro and Beja, there are several moments where you can taste and make typical dishes, surrounded by an incredible spirit in the typical taverns with the famous songs of the regions.
Belo de Beja, subindo lá vais, tu metes inveja, Castelo de Beja, às águias reais.
In the region of Aveiro, there is a workshop of kinetic sculptures, which consists in discover the sounds we can obtain through many objects. This workshop is very enriching because it comprises several steps until the production of sound, for example, welding and assembling the sound circuits.
In a marsh, where there is the Encontrarta Marsh, it aims to reach different types of public, and consequently having several activities that have the mission to reach this same public that is quite distinct from each other. It depends a lot on the local population and includes many arts such as cinema, theater, music, plastic arts, and many others, in order to ask for the participation of all visitors. They have many artists and performances also by the local community. Whenever they have games in order to get to know the city in an alternative and fun way. No mobile phones, no applications, just papers, in order to captivate families and bring them closer. This activity promotes interpersonal relationships while getting to know the city better. In the Algarve, in Bulicame, there's an activity called the Spirits of the Earth, which aims to promote contact with nature, so families can do agriculture or experiments with the care of animals, among other activities. At last, in Podance, there are also activities related to the famous Caretro, where participants have the opportunity to paint and do their own costumes, instead of just go there and watching. So, Creator is an initiative that searches for creative tourism experiences or the development of potential experiences around the 4 main areas of Portugal that aims to connect culture, tourism and self-development while traveling in small cities and rural areas, making the traveler feel like a part of the place he is visiting. Along with the idea labs and conferences, this organization discusses ideas and experiences and then develops them in order to explore to the maximum the potential of these places and activities to make them appealing so people search for them specifically. And in every project they think of or that are presented to them, it is mandatory that it includes the 4 dimensions mentioned before. This project started in a national context, but it looks forward to expand internationally since a project only for Azores has already been implemented. There are many other activities besides the ones mentioned, and all of them help to enrich this creative tourism, always taking into account the authenticity, the feeling of belonging, the innovation, but always in communion with the local community. All these projects also aim to unite people and create communities because, in fact, we need each other, especially in a time like this, and that is the message that creative tourism wants to convey to the world.
And so this type of tourism is about bringing you in and creating community. This is about, this is who I am, this is what I am.